This is an NBC News special report. Here's Hallie Jackson.
We are coming on the air with breaking news about that American Airlines plane crash here in Washington, D.C. And in a news conference just moments ago, officials could not confirm any number of fatalities or whether they've recovered any survivors. But we do know some 300 emergency responders are on the scene in a massive rescue operation. You're looking at some of that there. Here's what else we know. The FAA has now confirmed that regional jet with 60 passengers and 4 crew members on board collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter, both aircraft crashing into the Potomac River. Now, that flight had been en route from Wichita, Kansas to Reagan National when this happened around 9 o'clock Eastern time. An Army official says preliminary indications suggest 3 people were on board that military chopper. At this point, you've got this search operation, all hands on deck in extremely rough conditions in the river. It is cold. It is windy here in Washington. The D.C. mayor says Reagan airport officials are meeting with some of the family members of the passengers who were on that flight. We also know that Reagan will remain closed until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. This, of course, is the first major commercial plane crash we've seen in this country since 2009. I want to bring in Peter Alexander, who's at the scene. And Peter, I want to make clear you are off camera at the moment because you have been asked by rescuers to turn the lights off, you and our crew that's out there, so that they can access and view the river. Talk us through what you're seeing.
Hallie, that's exactly right. And right now on your screen, you can see that live picture on the Potomac River. To give you a sense, the water is frigid, 35 degrees. We're told the air temperature right now feels like 31 degrees, below freezing. The blessing for this effort is that the temperatures were a bit warmer today, allowing a thaw, which means that that layer of ice that had covered the Potomac River over the course of the last couple of weeks is not there. But as you heard from some of those law enforcement and other officials within the last couple minutes at a news conference that we were just monitoring, these are very dangerous conditions. It's very cold. There is ice in the water. I do want to show you now, if we can, our first image of what is that American Airlines aircraft in the water. This was provided by Getty Images, one of the photographers capturing this image. We are told that the plane was broken into 2. It is said to be in very shallow water at this hour right now, that rescue teams, rescue divers, search and rescue divers were accessing the fuselage, the plane, looking for any survivors, looking for who may be inside. As you said moments ago, and I should say, as you're speaking to me right now, again, I'm seeing one of these search and rescue helicopters flying overhead, Hallie. They have been scanning the Potomac River for most of the last few hours that we've been here, a grid to try to find if they see any survivors or any debris. Hallie?
Peter Alexander, we're looking at that live shot now. And as we do, I want to bring in our aviation correspondent, Tom Costello. And Tom, what else are we learning and what are you hearing from sources about how this could have possibly have happened as we look at some of these images, as we look at that photograph? It is just a gut punch for so many across the country.
That photograph is haunting and awful because we are looking at the distinct possibility of multiple casualties here in the Potomac River. The investigation is going to be very much that photo right there, which appears to show the fuselage of the plane, of this regional jet there in the Potomac River, as rescue teams are surrounding it, and it would appear that the majority of that plane remains submerged. 64 people were on that plane, 3 in the Army helicopter, the Sikorsky 60 helicopter. The video that seems to show the midair collision is going to be a big focus for investigators, because it does appear in that video that the helicopter comes up from behind the plane as the plane is approaching runway 33 here at Reagan Airport and slams into the back of that of the plane, and that causes a fireball, and the plane then goes into the water. So it has now been 4 hours and 17 minutes, more or less, since this emergency began, with fire and rescue and police personnel from across Maryland, Virginia, and D.C., all, as you see, on scene here on the Potomac River.
Tom Costello, thank you. That concludes for now this special report. But we'll have a lot more coverage on our streaming network, NBC News Now, throughout the night, online at NBCnews.com, and, of course, tomorrow on Today. For now, I'm Hallie Jackson. Thanks for watching.